Hey, great day to you all. I hope that you guys were all able to wake up super grateful to be given another day within this experience. And I hope you were able to set that high vibe for yourself, telling yourself that you're absolutely amazing, telling yourself that you are loved unconditionally, no matter what it is that you choose to do within your day, because you're factually the magician. And I hope that you have felt the power of your being by telling you that there is nothing outside of you that is greater than the power of your soul that's given you life. I hope you've told yourself you're amazing. And if you haven't, tell yourself, I'm amazing. I'm grateful. I know that I'm loved without question. I know that my body can heal. I know that I can get past anything. I know that any kind of setback or situation or circumstance is all for learning. I know that I have the power to construct my day as I heartfully desire it to be. So guys, stick around. There's a lot of stuff that, like normal, you'll get out of this live. Couple of quick announcements though. This afternoon, set your alerts, because I'm going to be a guest speaker on the Learn series. And this Learn series you can find in the Empowered Entrepreneurial Education group on Facebook. If it interests you to come and join the group so you can hear the episode today, just all you got to do is send me a DM or put in the comments me. I'll send you an invite to the group, because today I'll be on the Learn series. The topic is Conversations with Fear. So I'll be a guest speaker today at 2:00 on that. It's like a TV episode. It's going to be with John Acosta, Kara, I can't remember her last name, Bruno Gill, and Irina Portnova. So I've been invited to come and speak there today, which I've accepted the invite heartfully. I love doing it. And next week, next Tuesday, I believe, I'm not sure, Tuesday, I'll be on a live show that you can catch on Roku or on demand. It's E360 TV. And it is Thriving Woman Talk. And I'll be on that episode as well. So just a couple of quick invites, because there's also that group as well. You can get all the details in the comments of the video, or you can, like I said, just alert me that you would love to hop into the conversation or hear the episode for yourself, and I'll send you an invite to the group so that you not only miss like that, so that you can catch today's episodes, but also the future episodes, because they're totally awesome. I jump into these episodes for my own self, because the knowledge, it's a takeaway, even if it's only validation for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome. So there's great opportunities for you guys to catch a little bit of learning, a little bit of insight, a little bit of maybe, disruption of your current patterns that you're thinking about, which is great. So that's the bonus I feel about technology now, with the ability to share and teach each other. And, my learning never ends. And I've learned a lot of things over the progress of me deciding since January, you know what, I don't want to coach, I want to speak. But I still coach. So don't get me wrong. I still coach. And I love it when I see the impact that I make in people's lives. Like yesterday, one of the best gifts that I could have ever acquired yesterday for Valentine's Day, because it was a celebration of Love Day, but I celebrate love every day. But yesterday, when I went over the bridge to go and grab some gas, I ran into a gentleman that I had given him my books for his kids. And, he expressed to me yesterday that he checks out my stuff, and he has actually told neighbors and friends to come and check out my stuff, and it's actually helped them. So that was the best gift that anybody could have given me yesterday. He told me how much he genuinely loved me and what I'm doing in the world, and how much of an impact I've made in even people's lives that are close to him. So that's why I do it. Okay? I know what it's like not to feel in control of my emotions. I've been there. I know what it's like to suffer chronic depression. I've been there. I know what it's like to suffer addiction. I've been there. I know what it's like to suffer alcoholism. I've been there. I know what it's like to suffer molestation. I've been there. I know what it's like to suffer bad abusive relationships. I've been there. I know what it's like to lose in my life. I've been there all my life. I know what it's like to not feel like you have support. I've been there. See, the type of life that I've lived, I understand. I've been there myself. I understand what it feels like for the family to be broken up. I get that. I've been there. Okay? I know what it's like to be outcasted. I am an outcast. Simple. So there's nothing that you could be feeling in your life that I haven't walked through myself and corrected for myself. And this is why it's going to lead to you guys understanding why it's so important to actually dive in and do the inner work within yourself. Because what really makes it hard for us is that we don't follow our heart. All of us, until you decide to. Or until you've been able to actually stay in your heart your whole life, but then you feel the contradiction of the world around you. You see? Well, it happens to us all. And why did I suffer all of that? Well, because, hey, I was programmed like that. I was programmed to feel everything that my lineage before me felt, just like every one of us. Every one of us. It's in our DNA. Can't be avoided. And if you don't know your lineage history, well, then you lack a great understanding of what you're made up of. And that's why I dive deep into lineage. And that's why I keep all kinds of ancestral stuff around me constantly. Big time. It's for learning, for understanding, for, Yeah. But you got to know what you come from and what you're made up of. And then from that point, decide whether operating like that on that program is actually harming you and your life, or it's not. I know that operating from what I was given from birth, well, I know it's all training now, so I don't even see it as like, I had a hard life. It doesn't even exist anymore. None of it. None of it. I know what it's like to be in ICU and be given 16 hours to leave and be told, hey, you're leaving in a body bag, nothing but, so get over it. And the more you fight it, the more you're giving yourself problems. Fuck that, I'm still here. Just last year, hey, you're going to die in 3 months max. So enjoy whatever time you have, because that flesh eating in your sinus is going to your brain. It can't be stopped. Okay. Not only am I sitting here today, but I'm actually getting all the feeling back. You see that? There's no more droop. Yeah, a little bit of it. It's going to be gone. Because if you give the body the conditions, and what are these conditions? Your essence of your being. It's not your programming that's going to give you this kind of healing capacity. And that's why anybody who needs to heal has to tap into their internal healing power. Well, what is that internal healing power? It's the power that's operating every single one of your organs and your systems already today. It's as simple as that. We all have it. And we're all equals on the planet. It doesn't matter what we acquire. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter nothing. There is no being that is more superior than another on the planet. Doesn't matter what they are. Doesn't matter what title they've assumed for themselves. No. Nope. Why? Because we are all uniquely an expression of the universe. And that's it. And we all think that we're having a, we put so much meaning into life. Please, it's a mere experience that literally once you live your moment of now, it no longer exists. Literally. So, your brain can only process now. But while it's processing the now, it is processing your now according to what you are projecting out into your reality and what you are picking up from the data and the information that your senses are processing. It's very simple if we keep it simple. Now, if you haven't cleaned up your programming, what do I mean by that? Going back into your past and being able to look at your whole life from birth and love it all, no matter what it's been. Well, then you got inner work to do. And it happens to us all. You know how hard it was for me to look back at my life and relive everything that I have? And relive, like, hey, it was very difficult. So much so that without any support outside of me, it pushed me right back to drugs, right back to drinking. Nobody understood me. No. And it was very difficult for me. And this is why I feel it's so important for me to help anybody who's doing inner work or taking a look at their past, because with your brain only processing your now, every time you look back in your life and look at a memory, your body does not know if it's real, in other words, happening right now, or if it's a memory. So you are actually forcing your body to relive whatever you think about. Right? And these things, memories, they cause feelings in us. They cause our body to destabilize. Literally. And this is a huge problem and why people get sick. You know that no living organism can handle stress for an extended period of time without getting sick and dying? Well, we're living organisms. The conditions that we've had to live in this world have been really harsh and have been amplifying the stress for every single person living on the planet. Well, no living organism can survive like that. This is why it's so important for people to get right with themselves. Because imagine, the world wouldn't be what it is if everybody tapped into the purest essence of their being, which is love. Literally. Come on, what happened to common courtesy, common decency, common respect? There's nothing common in that anymore. It's called rare sense, rare respect, rare dignity, rare loyalty. There's no common anything anymore. And we've allowed it to get to this point. This is why I stress for people to do the inner work. Because I was literally shackled to hell in my own life, all my life, until I self-mastered enough to become spiritually awakened and really see the big picture for what it is. It didn't, hey, shit, come on. Didn't take overnight, that's for sure. But I still have mastered myself to the point where I can come out and teach you guys, hey, how the brain really works. And how you can not operate from the programming. But even better than that, the real power that you have, plus a corrected program system that has been reinstalled, you are absolutely invincible in this world. Yeah. So this is why I want to empower every single person to correct the programming that they're running on, because we all run on programming. All of it. Every bit of every waking moment you are governed by programming. 95% of your brain is operating these programs. No matter who you are. Inner work is really taking a look in the darkness of your being and no longer hiding anything from your own self and facing everything that you've got to correct in your programming. Well, what are these things that are the everythings in our programming? Well, anytime you felt unloved in your life, that scarred you. Anytime you felt trauma, that scarred you. Anytime you felt pain, that scarred you. Anytime you felt judgment, shame, blame, guilt, denial, anger, non-acceptance of yourself, these are all things that have become a part of you, that are functioning your programming today. So after the life that I've lived, well, then you can just fathom the depths of the inner work that I had to do to correct my programming. You see, it's not a joke. And it's crippling work, because nobody likes to go and face what they lived as a child or anything after that, if it wasn't harmonious, walk in the park, fairy tale kind of life. And there are some that have had that kind of life, but less than more. You see? And we come from a generation of, hey, that was some brutal shit still going on. Not allowed to talk about anything, getting shamed for it, not accepted, judged, hey, ostracized, casted out. That's hard to live with. And people minimalize that, like, hey, get over it. Nah, fuck. That shit really affects people. And it's really not cool. But what happens is it all gets stored in us. This is why the other day I told you guys, hey, talk about things that have happened to you in your life that you think you got over, and see what bubbles up inside. Because if you can maintain neutral to it all and just express it like an experience, well, then you've healed it. But if you feel anything at all, so the anxiety of it, the sadness of it, the whatever it is it brings on in you, or if you are angered by the situation, you're going to feel that anger gurgling through your body. And when something happens in our life, every reaction to it is based on all of this shit that's programmed in us. And it triggers these things to come up because they're quick reference points for the brain. Why? Because it has so much to do within your body that it needs quick reference points to make sure that you don't put yourself in these situations fully again, because it doesn't want to relive how you felt the first time initially. And that could have been when you were 2 years old. That somebody is shaming you today, but it triggers the way you felt as a 2-year-old child. Well, what is going to be the reaction? The same as the 2-year-old child. Because that's your initial installation of that response that was never corrected. Yeah. Literally. Oh, I gotta close my door. That dog, she opens up my balcony door, and I wish she could close it the same way she opens it. Fuck. That'll be the next thing to work on. I'll have to attach a cord or something so she can fucking pull it herself. But anyway, literally though. And we don't understand it because we live things outside of us. And shit happens to us all. And it's majority of the time, it's these triggers of responses that really govern us more than anything. Anything. So it's the same way about if, let's say you want to make changes in your life. You know deep down you want better for yourself. You want to feel better. You want to be able to control your emotions. You want to be able to be stable and clear, because unless you're clear, you are creating from everything that's stored in your programming. So what does it become like? Imagine a pond with no fresh flowing to it. It becomes stagnant. Or a river. Always running, fresh. Okay? The waters of our being are either murky because of what's been stored there, or you can have it running like fresh stream, fresh river flowing freely. You see, and it's work to go in there and clean up that murky fucking pond, I tell you. And we don't even realize it. Why? We don't even know what's stored in our being unless we take a look at it. Why? Because you only process the now. And your subconscious brain's job is to keep you in harmony and balance. So this is why everything gets blocked away in our memory. And everything gets shoved away. And because the subconscious brain is protecting you from it. Yeah, that's why it ends up getting stored in there permanently. And everything gets based on these things. You see? So this is why it's so really, really, really important that you take the time for you, because you are uniquely you. And this is what makes us so relevant and important every day in the world, no matter how insignificant you may feel you are. Why? Because you are an expression of the universe, and it's learning. So through you and your experience, it's learning. And that is what the true power of evolution and growth is. Look, the essence of your being today that's giving you the energy to fuel your experience, so which is also functioning everything about you, everything about your experience, that's not coming from your human being. It is your source of life that's giving you that, which is your soul. So you have a very big choice you can make for yourself. You can clear out all the shit that's been stuck in your programming, because That's what you got to do. You got to totally go and demolish everything that you've ever once believed about yourself. Why? Because you weren't born with these belief systems. Okay? You weren't. These are things that you've acquired because of the experiences you've had in your life. Well, why are they stored in our body? For reference, for our subconscious brain, because of the law of least effort. It has so many things to do. Well, one of its jobs also is to keep you in balance and away from anything that does not make your heart feel right. Because you're running from programming and not your true brain. And that's not to put anybody down, because that's just fact of the matter until there's a conscious choice made to, hey, okay, now that I know that my brain works like this, well, hey, what the fuck do I have stored in there that's making me feel the way I do on a daily basis? And that's what I want to trigger in people. You got to go look within, because everybody's unique. You and I could have stood side by side and lived the same experience, and we did not experience it the same because of our senses and the data we're both picking up. It's different. And the processing of the data you're picking up, well, you don't think that's processed according to all of the beliefs you have stored in there? Yes. Quick references. Well, when you realize that this is how your body works, and this is how the experience works, and it's a mere experience, you're not going to take it so hard on yourself, and you're not going to sit there and shame, blame, guilt yourself, or deny yourself of the magical experience, because, hey, the only reason why you do deny your power and do deny the magic is because you believe it doesn't exist. But how could it not? You're breathing today. How magical is your being just to function everything it does? Literally. Think about it. That's something that you had to be locked out of because you yourself would not be able to manage that on your own and still have your experience. So how magical is that? 95% of the work done for our human being is done for us by this programming. Okay? So how could the programming not be controlling your life? It is. But what you really got to check is whether your programming has been healthy to you. So it's been in alignment with what's fueling you. So what is that? Pure magic. Perfect design. Like the subconscious brain that runs everything had to be in perfect design. Also to keep all your organs functioning. Why do we get sick? Because of the things that we believe. Number one. And number two, because we've been functioning for such a long period of man-made time that you've been out of balance for so long that your body can no longer function like that. So the first thing that indicates that is that you start getting sick. People even avoid that. Try to blow it off. Try to keep going, doing what they feel obliged to do in their life from this state. What happens then? Well, something that's already not in balance, not in harmony, and you keep pushing that, you're just magnifying the imbalance and the disharmony and the dis-ease within the body. You see, everything is supposed to function with ease. Factually. The law of least effort. You think it's hard for your subconscious brain to run everything in your body? No. What makes it harder for it to function is the way you operate your own being from your programming. But you can clear out that programming. This is what I try to stress to people. I want people to understand that I don't come out here and say, oh, you're programmed, that we are all fucking programmed. And we have an installation of a program that we cannot touch when it comes to our organs. Because if we do, we're dead. We mismanage the other part of the accessible brain by believing we are less than what we are. And that's the true problem. We're not less of anything. We got the whole fucking universe fueling us. The whole universe. Source of creation and everything in it. Every thought that was ever said, everything that was ever invented or manifested or created, the knowledge of every single thing is there. That's why I call it the all-knowing. It fucking knows all. It's not a joke. After tapping into that, obviously I changed my ways. But now I also know that being in my power, it doesn't matter what I choose to do. My body fixes itself naturally should I give it the calm waters to do so. No matter what I've been inflicted with the life experience. But negativity in your programming is toxic to your being. It's like when you have these negative thoughts or negative experiences, it's like sipping poison. Factually. So these are some choices people have to make for themselves. I could no longer be poisoned by life or by my experience, by thought alone. You see what I'm saying? We replay things, we overthink things, we're set in a program according to what was installed and what we were taught to do. How many of us were taught that unconditional love was real? Or were we judged, shamed, blamed, expected to do certain things to be loved and accepted? Hey, I know what it feels like not to live up to the expectations of family and everything and be fucking put through the ringer for it. So we can't say that doesn't exist. Of course it does. But how many other people on the planet are feeling that? Probably every single person until they get it right. We've all had to deal with expectations of others. And we've all had to deal with parents who had been born to a generation that all kinds of stigma attached, all kinds of hands-on domestic violence, abuse, loads of trauma, hard living. Well, did your parents heal all of that before they raised you? I highly doubt it. They parented you on these programming beliefs that they had according to what they lived. See? And that doesn't make it wrong. But it also doesn't make it right. See? So that's why an individual must look within themselves and figure out, what is it that is hurting you the most in your life? Because it really is affecting everything. Everything you think, say, and do. When you're triggered from anything you're living in the now, that response is coming up. Because that's the program and how it works. This is why it's so important to go in and identify within yourself the one thing that hurts you the most in your life. And no longer let it hurt you. It sounds crazy, but because it no longer exists, and because you understand the way your brain works, and you understand intentionally you're going in there to clear out what is hurting your being, you won't have a problem. But you have to intentionally say, all right, you know what? I'm diving in and I'm clearing you the fuck out. I had to do it. You think, hey, listen, self-talk is huge, eh? We don't talk to another person in our life more than we talk to ourselves. We are making a choice every single time about anything we do. But how many programs are you running automatically right now? Think about it. Well, your kidneys are working to take the waste out of your body. Your liver's working. Without your liver, you wouldn't be alive. Okay? Your heart's beating, pumping blood. You're breathing. Now, if you take every one of those systems, your digestive tract, your skin, your immune system, your capacity to think, say, and do, your senses, your central nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system, your pain responses, your triggers, your... These are all programs. When you get up and you walk, do you think about it? No. Because you've been programmed since young how to do it. So you don't have to think about it. Do you have to think about it when you go to pick your nose? No, because you've been programmed to do it. Do you have to think about it when you wipe your ass? No, you've been programmed how to do it. These are the things I am trying to stress to you guys are running automatically. Well, everything else in your life experience that has harmed you is governing everything that you think, say, and do today within those automatic programs. You've got a virus in there if you've got any harmful memory. You got to go and defrag your brain, rip it apart, and remove the virus from the root. Literally. But if you don't self-reflect and introspect, you got to look within. You can't find these answers from a shrink, from a therapist, from a... Nah. Because only you know what genuinely your life was. But are you too scared to face the truth of what your life has been? And you're allowing your own body to hide it from you? Because that's what's going to happen too. If your subconscious brain feels that you are already out of harmony and out of whack, it will literally block you from your memories. And it's programmed to do that. Because its job is to keep you safe, thriving, alive and well and in balance. So this is why you get locked away from these memories. Because you're already out of fucking whack. And your body does not want that. Listen, it's a total contradiction on how you're supposed to run. And a lot of people say, I can't remember that. I can't remember this. Nah, because your body's protecting you from it. Literally. But you shouldn't have to be protected from your life experience. That's why it's so important to go and remove the emotions that are attached to these memories. Because people don't even realize. If you don't even aren't aware of them, well, that's why you got to go check for them and pull them out from the root. You can't expect to uproot something if you're just pulling at the fucking leaves at the top. You got to uproot it, grab it from the roots, or it's staying there. Well, it's the same thing as these harmful stored shit in us, unless we go in there and uproot it completely. How do you do that? Well, you got to intentionally do it, and you should reach out to me if you're going to try to do that stuff, because I'll give you certain techniques according to you and what it is that you're trying to target, because everybody's different. And what works for one person will not work for another, because they've had different traumas, different pains, different experiences, different situations and circumstances that they feel have broken them. So it has to be uniquely targeted for the individual. Literally. And that's how I operate. That's why I can't put together a course content and have just a mass sign up for my courses. No, because every single person is going to deal with something different, and what they have to do must be targeted for them. And that's why booking that meet and greet call with me of 30 minutes is whether or not it's a good fit to work with you. I'm not just looking to work with anybody, because I'm not looking to waste my energy or my time. But if you want some real help, well, that's when you go and you book a call with me. And it's 30 minutes on Zoom or on Google Meet, and we face-to-face figure out where you are right now within yourself, and what are your target goals for your change. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Are you trying to get over pain, get over anxiety, get over depression, get over addiction, get over grief, get over whatever it is? Well, we talk about it, because I've gotten over it all. So it doesn't matter, and I can't be targeted to, okay, I'm only going to help this specific type of person for this specific problem, when I have the vast sea of knowledge that I do. I didn't walk the life that I've had to say, oh, I can only help one type of person with one type of problem. Nah, not Tobi. I can help people get through just about anything that they're living, because I've literally lived it all. Literally. I was in and out of juvie lockup. Christ, I even sold my ass on the street. Listen, there's some things that I've done in my life, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's all made me who I am today, but I could no longer run on that programming. You see what I'm saying? Well, the programming can be corrected. So, it's a simple choice. But when you realize that your programming is actually harming you, and that it's running automatically, and this harmful stuff is actually running within all of your programs of your system, and it's actually toxic to you, you're going to want to go in there and fucking clean it out. Well, I can show you how to do that. Targeted, focused, because every situation that you're living and you're going to induce in yourself is you're going to need to target it a little differently. You see, somebody who's facing depression, that has to be targeted according to depression. Well, I've mastered that stuff. Anxiety has to be targeted for anxiety. You see? Alcoholism has to be targeted for alcoholism. Addiction has to be... And actually, you know something? Even addiction can't be thrown into one bag, because there are so many forms of addiction, and we all are addicted to something. Something. So, but every type of addiction also has to be targeted in a certain way. You can't do the umbrella, oh, they all fit in one basket. No. Because it's every person's life experience that is actually governing what's going on with them. And they're unlike anybody else. Nobody can be compared to one another. But what I can say is that I know factually, first-handedly, how that all feels. And how crippling it was for me. Yeah. But I've also beat that 7 times. Intentionally. And now I'm healing the paralysis that they said would never be healed. I got my smile back. What the fuck more could I want in this experience? Guys, it's possible to make anything possible in your life. You just got to clean out all the shit that's telling you that it's not possible. Got to clean out all that shit that, How many of us just lived our life just seeking the approval of others and people pleasing? I know I did. Hands up, hands up. That's me. First-handedly. Why? Because I didn't feel loved within even the family unit. Always being told, you're too much, you're this, you're that. But watching what was really going on around me. But come on. When you really think of what the basis of your life fundamentally was, you understand your programming for the rest of your life. Because everything else just buckled on top of those core experiences. And this is why it's so important to go and look. But you got to be prepared for what the body is going to do in response to that. And that is why you need the help. I know how the body's going to respond. I know what's going to come up in you more than you do. And everybody thinks, no, yeah? You can't think anything about it until you've had to walk the fire and feel it. And you may think, that shit doesn't affect me. Yeah, that's again your programming telling you, I got to keep you safe. You're not tough enough to let me show you what it really is. From when you understand that too, you're like, yeah? Fuck you, you work for me. Not the other way around. And that's what I had to do also. I had to take control of the program in order to accept it, clear it out, and rewrite and reinstall something powerful in there. Fuck. But I'm living proof that it can happen. Doesn't matter what you've lived, because I've lived it all. Lived it all. And I have gotten through it all. Not just survived it. Because I'm not a fucking victim of any kind. The only victim I've been to is to my fucking programming. We're not a victim of life. We're a victim of our programming. Factually. So, it's called... And how are we a victim to this programming? Because your programming will block you from what it thinks you are not strong enough to face. Wouldn't you say that that's shackling you to that being in control of you other than your own being? You shouldn't have to be protected from your own self. Well, what does that do? It locks you into the programming. Because it thinks that you can't handle it because you're already out of balance. I really hope you guys understand this. And I really hope you guys get why it's so important to do the fucking work. Because your mind and your programming should not be in control of your experience. And it will remain that way until you have given it safe conditions. So this is why I say every thought you have, every spoken word, and every action is based on the programming of all of these fucking memories that have been put in your storage bank to keep your fucking ass safe. And that's why it blocks you from these memories. Again, because it doesn't think you're tough enough to handle them and relive them again, because you're already out of balance. And it knows the more that you're out of balance, the more you're going to get fucking sick. And that's not its job. Its job is not to make you sick. It's to make you better. And make you operate in perfect design. Because what's fueling you is in perfect design. So, if you're not feeling the strength of your being, well, then you got a stagnant pond going on in your programming. It's time to take a look at what's in that stagnant pond. And guess what? It's really hard to see while it's gloomy and stagnant, right? This is where the inner work comes into play. It's like you got to dredge that out. Literally, by force, and pull up everything at the bottom and see what the fuck is there. And then you got to dig a trench to release it all, like, right? You want a flow coming to it and from it. So you have to build those pathways. Well, it's the same thing with your brain. Yeah, and you can do it, because I did it. By learning, you build new pathways in your brain. Literally. We all have responses to things. Every single one of our response, until we do the inner work, until we've done the self-mastery, your programming is governing every bit of it. And everybody wants to walk around thinking they're in control of their life, and they're not. They're absolutely not, until they've done the inner work. How do I know that? Because factually, the only time I could take control of me was by choice, alone to do it. And to not allow my programming of my life to no longer be the factor that is governing my life. By choice. I had to literally tell my ego and my subconscious brain that it fucking works for me, and not the other way around. It's not a joke when I say this shit. Because it will literally operate you fully until you take your control of that. That's the ego. Oh, yeah. That's what ego is. This is why anybody who has an ego has a real fucking problem within their own being. Yeah. And what is the difference between somebody who has an ego and not? Well, I don't have an ego. I am not in any competition with anything, because in the perfect design of how everything operates, there is no competition. So, this survival of the fittest bullshit that the whole world has been governing on is bullshit. Okay? It's the reverse, actually. It's elimination of the weakest. Which is, if you cannot be strong in your own being, and your ego operation programming must operate you because you cannot be in control of your being, well, hey, that's why the ego does it. To keep your ass safe. Well, what is it keeping you safe from? What is operating you? I know it's operating me by choice. And once you clear out the shit and destruct and demolish and hey, look, we all know. Where there was a house built that once, you must go there even down to the foundation and fucking destroy it and gut it and get it all out of there. You're not going to go and destroy a house and rebuild on the same foundation if you really know the foundation's all fucked up. We all know the foundation is the core to building. You got a fucked foundation, you got a cracked foundation. Well, guess what? So you need to understand that your own being is operating on a program that is keeping you safe from taking a look at how destroyed your foundation is. But the destruction of your foundation right now has everything else not right. Well, think about it. What happens to a house? Come on. Well, guys, you got to go and look at the foundation of what is underneath and has built you to be the way that you are. And it takes some work. Yeah, it does. Because to get to that fundamentally, guess what? You can't even get there and access that without going through everything else that your life has been. Your body won't allow you to do it. And that's why it won't show you everything at once, too. This is why it's a process. It's like an onion. Okay? It's not just the skin. Okay? You starting inner work is like taking the peel off of the onion. Wow. How many layers are there to that fucking onion before you get to the core problem? Imagine. So as you start working through chunks of your life and you start identifying things, you're just peeling layers. And that's what the process is. Because then when you get to the core and you correct the core, nothing can ever affect you again in life. Because you're not operating from any trauma, any pain, any disruption, any distortion in your being. And this is why it's so important, because people don't even get it. Every day when you wake up in this magical experience, your body is supposed to be totally feeling empowered, totally feeling the connection to everything and all, totally feeling like you can have anything you want in your experience and nothing but. And it's the programming that pushes you to something else. And then the magnitude of how many people can't even stop their continuous brain fucks. They can't. Why? Because you've allowed your brain to run like that. How do you stop it? Well, you disrupt it. Hey, brain, you work for fucking me. You're the one assisting me to have this experience by functioning every one of my senses, my organs, my central nervous system, my everything about my experience. So therefore, you are supposed to be working for me and my experience, not the other way around. By choice. You can command anything into your life. But until you feel powerful enough to do that, guess what? The programming is commanding everything in your life. That's why I come out here and I really try my damnedest to get through to you guys about this programming. And it's not that anybody did anything wrong to us. But within the programming, you're feeling like they have. That's what has to be changed. Because that shit is running automatically. Why do you think things get triggered? You see something, oh, a memory pops up, or a thought pops up, or somebody says something and a reaction happens, and, come on. What do you think? Big head? Why do you think that we can watch something and start to gurgle a cry? Why do you think you could hear something and get angry? Why do you think that you can think that you want something and then get it and feel a little bit of relief of it? It's all fucking programming. And you've been programmed to even respond the way you do, according to your traumas, your experiences, your past influences, every person, place, and thing from your first 7 years that ever said a fucking word to you. That's what your programming initially is. Well, how much have you lived since then? So your first 7 years is your initial foundation. Well, and everything else is built on top of it. So, in order for you to, let's say you're going into a site and you got to demolish. You got to take out everything. Well, you can't get to the foundation of the house until you destruct it, right? You got to clear out the house before you can clear out the foundation, right? It only makes sense. You can't rush into the site and fucking start digging up a foundation while there's a house sitting on it. Well, you have a house, your life experience sitting on top of your foundation that you got to demolish and destroy and haul out of that site. Well, anybody on a good demolition job that knows that there's some value in that is not going to go in there with a wrecking ball if they can avoid it. They're going to salvage the good out of it. Well, that's what you're supposed to do also when you're demolishing your house. It's not all bad. So there is some good, and that's what you got to keep. But everything else that's not good has to go. You're not going to keep wood that's rotting. You're not going to keep shingles that have holes in them that can't be reused. You're not going to keep beams or whatever that are rotted. They're of no use to you. They can't hold the stability or the structure. Clear it out. But not all. Everything is bad. The windows may still be good. Your doors still may be good. You never know. But you're going to have to investigate to see. Well, you got to clear everything before you can get to its foundation. That's what the work is. And most people show up on the construction site to demolish their house. Come all geared up, ready. Okay, yeah, I'm ready. I want to do this. I want change. I want to feel everything. Yes. And go. Oh, fuck. Not today. Okay. And then they go, okay. Not today. And then they go, oh, again. Not today. Which, what happens? You're already installing patterns of avoidance. We don't procrastinate for no reason. Somewhere in there in our fucking programming, you've deemed it acceptable. And it's not. Because our soul, imagine what would happen to us if our subconscious brain was a procrastinator. Oh, fuck. You wouldn't be able to digest your food. It would be according to its time. Fuck, you'd be hung over longer than you are. Your body wouldn't be able to heal itself. Fuck, come on. Your brain doesn't procrastinate. It's your programming that pushes you to procrastinate. It's your programming that produces responses, reactions. This is why it's so important to take a look. And why do I like to refer of the house? Because your soul is living somewhere. Well, right now it's in your house. And just like any human being, no soul can live in a house that is rotted out or not stable. Factually. So, when you're ready to take a look, and you're ready to clear out what is no longer serving you of your benefit, but not only what's serving you of your benefit, what is actually blocking you from your fucking power and magic, go to my Calendly and book some time. You got like 12 different options of time you can book with me that goes right into my Google Calendar. Literally. And me, the life I've lived, trust me, there is no judgment here at all. The only judgment I will have is that I will give you props and support that you're even attempting this shit. Because you know something? A lot of people attempt and they do not succeed. That's why it's so important to have the support. Because this kind of inner work will destroy somebody if they don't have the right support. I know, because it destroyed me when I was doing it alone. Yeah. But what did that do for me at the end of the day? Knowing that I could do that alone and knowing how powerful I've become in my being, hey, I'm glad nobody else was involved other than Source and the whole universe. Because everybody in this experience is just a mere expression of it. There's always a big picture, eh? And you're actually like a pawn for the universe so that it can expand its knowledge and creativity. Literally. So you got to stop taking things to heart. Stop believing you are your past or your experiences or whatever. But I could help you with the work to relieve yourself of that, because none of that should exist other than in your own mind. Literally. Yesterday no longer exists. Fucking 10 minutes ago no longer exists. And everybody, past memories, blah, 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 blah. Huh. There is only now. That's all that exists. And it's your thoughts, according to your programming and your belief systems, that has you either living in your past and reliving it and creating more of it, or living in your future, causing fear, anxiety, feeling like, oh fuck, scarcity, I don't have enough. Hey, when you know what's fueling you, that's all you fucking need in this experience. Oh, I would like everybody to feel the same way. Factually. Why wouldn't I? The world would be such a magnificent, magical place, the way it's meant to be. Yeah. All this world governance shit because people can't think straight and get past their programming. I think it's about time, eh? Well, if you're ready to do just that, fuck. Hey, reach out. Guys, there's links on the video. You can get my books. You can get whatever. Hey. But are you ready to face yourself? And that's where the courage is the tipping point. Because if you're too scared to face yourself, well, then you're too scared to do anything else. Because you got to face yourself and realize what the fuck is blocking me from my power. What power? The same power that's running every fucking thing in your experience. That power. The essence of who you are. Your truest state of being that you were born into the experience with. You were born with your power and in full power. It is everything that you have stored in your programming that has ripped you away from that. Well, I can assist you to clear out that path. But it is a process. Guys, I love y'all. This is why I do it. I'm a vessel of love in this experience, especially knowing that I am just a mere expression of Source and the creative power that's running it all. Hey, how could I not own my power and feel nothing but on a daily? Nothing else interests me now that I have reconditioned the programming. You see? See, the programming that was running before was I believed, oh, I'll never get my smile. Yeah, okay, I've beat death, but, fuck all that shit. Full power now, full force ahead, and guess what? Who's on that train? Simple. I can show you how to do it. I've done it myself, no matter what you're living. But are you too busy brain fucking yourself and getting those same results in your life? If that's what you choose, instead of feeling powerful and making everything happen by perfect design, I wish you well with that. But I no longer will stay in any kind of destructive state for anything or anybody, because what's fueling us to have the experience and that what's running everything automatically in your body, it knows no resistance. It knows no limitation. It knows no suffering, and it knows no fucking boundaries. If it did, it wouldn't be able to function everything that it does. But just know that everything out of your programming that's producing thoughts and speech and ways of action in your life is actually producing bodily effects. Yeah. So when you get angry with somebody, who are you really hurting? You. You want to tell yourself shit? Well, who's going to feel the shit? You. Nobody but. This is why everything starts with you. It's not about anybody else. So when you decide that you want to stand in your power, that's got nothing to do with anybody else either. But I'll tell you, it does come with a lot of goodbyes. Factually. But I'd rather be in my power than to be a part of any program. Factually. Guys, I love you all. Get the most out of your day. Another quick reminder today. Empowered Entrepreneurial Education. 2 o'clock, the Learn series. I'm going to be a guest speaker. Conversations with Fear. It'll be with Bruno Gill, Irina Portnova, John Acosta, and I think Kara, but I can't remember her last name right off the top of my head right now. But 4 amazing people. I'm grateful to be a part of their show today. And another quick reminder, it's also in the comments, guys. Next week, Tuesday, I am on E360 TV. You can get it on Roku, on demand, Apple and Spotify podcasts. It is Thriving Women Talk. Okay? Women Talk. There's also a Facebook group. So, guys, if you guys are interested in the links or want to be invited to these particular groups, just holler or put in the comments that you want links or the invites, and I will personally send it to you. Okay? So, and when you're ready to step into your power, holler. Holler. I can help you do it. Yeah. And I can help you do it by my perfect design for uniquely whatever it is you're living. Anyway, Anybody who knows me and worked with me or just even has a conversation with me knows. And those that have been blessed to be my friends, hey, fuck, they already know. That's why they're friends with me. Guys, I love you all. Own your magic. Make it happen. Don't let any program push you into limitation, fear, resistance, none of that shit. Depression, anxiety, all that stuff comes from your programming, eh? Don't accept these things for yourself. It's a mere choice. Factually. Well, I choose to be in my power and nothing but on a daily. And I choose to be coming from a place where, hey, there's only the now that exists. So I better stay present in my now. Because that's where my power is in the present, in the now. And there will be no quick reference points stored in my brain that will govern anything about my future. So I cleaned it out. Well, I could show you all how to do it. I love you all. Get the most out of your day. Why? Because you matter the most. How could anything outside of you matter fucking more than you? It can't. None of that shit exists. And you give it all of the credence and credence in your life to fuck with you. Whoa. Hey, that doesn't exist. It's a mirror projection of what you're creating your reality to be based on your programming. Don't allow another person to shift you. You know why people and places and things exist? And why you got 5 senses? To amplify and enhance your experience of life and your learning. And that's it. Yeah. So why do you fucking give them so much meaning in your life? You better dig into your programming and check. Because in all reality, we are an expression of the universe having a mere fucking experience that is a holographic experience. None of it's real. Yeah. I could teach you about that too. Anyway, I love you all. Get the most out of your day. If you need me, book me. If you want my books, go get them. My new revised books will shift you. Definitely. I love you all. Make the magic happen. Because, little do you realize, as long as you're breathing, the magic is happening. Love y'all. Peace.